What's up, guys? This is Durian Productions. Today, let us open Huawei Matebook 13. It's a Linux version from Huawei. We have already opened up it with Windows already installed. It houses an Intel Core i5 4-core CPU with 512 GB of solid-state drive. It's easy to open. It comes with approximately 3 meters Type-C cable and a 65 watts Type-C charger. We're having a Chinese version, so the plug is in CN standard. It also has an adapter from USB Type-C to general USB Type-A. We would prefer a video export adapter, which would be more convenient for general user. We took it out from the enclosure. And then we see a very beautiful metallic laptop. It feels light on hand, thin on hand. In the A side, there is a gray Huawei logo. On the back side, there are 4 plastic stands. There is an Nvidia logo. The build quality is really good. The metal feels very steady on hand, similar to MacBook Pro. Very different from those Dell or HP laptops, although being metallic, but feels very unsafe on hand. The Huawei is absolutely one of the top. On the left side, there is a Type-C port for charging. On the other side, there is another Type-C port for video output. We try to open the lid. There is a small plastic paper tell you which side USB Type-C can be used for charging, which side can be used for video output. The screen looks gorgeous with a 3:2 aspect ratio. It's full laminated. It's almost black. The keyboard feels gorgeous. The size of the key is pretty large. When you're typing, you'll feel happy with the large keyboard size. The touchpad is also pretty large. It is metallic. It feels cold on your finger. It's a premium one. The laptop also houses some Huawei technologies like Huawei Share and fingerprint power button. Now, let us turn the device on. It has backlit keyboard and a Huawei logo when startup. When you get the Huawei laptop in China, originally it is in Linux, and they will send you a third-party thumb drive for you to install Windows just within one click. The screen is the bonus for this laptop. It's very bright, high contrast, with extremely vivid color. There is a very small webcam at the top side, although the bezel is small. If you are having any difficulties in getting the drivers for this laptop, just install the PC Manager from Huawei official website, and it is able to install all the drivers automatically, taking that you have the Wi-Fi driver on your laptop. The overall speed is very good for daily use, such as web browsing, opening apps such as Microsoft Edge, although the processor is 8th generation Intel. It's nowhere slower than current 10th gen Intel models, and I would like to say that it is still top-notch. Let us open YouTube and find a soap opera. Sometimes when you get the laptop, it will be slightly slower because of the Windows update in the background. The display quality is really top-notch. It's even better than the 2015 MacBook Pro on my hand. The sound quality is definitely better than a $1,000 laptop. It's approximately the level of Dell XPS or HP Spectrum series. Very good. Let us go to some general benchmark data of this laptop. It has a 3 to 4K SSD benchmark. It houses one of the latest Samsung SSD. In Cinebench R15, it has a 8th generation i5 CPU. Take note that we are running the benchmark on battery mode because we think it's a lightweight laptop. The score is 608 CB, which is much better than many 10th generation CPU on battery mode. It is really good of Huawei to give so much power even when you are running on the battery. As for GPU, the OpenGL benchmark is only 62 FPS. It's a limited version since for general MX 250, you can run up to approximately 90 to 100 FPS. Anyway, in such a lightweight body, you can get a discrete graphic. This is much more better than nothing. In Blackmagic raw speed test, it shows that the CPU benchmark is basically top-notch. It's the only CPU I see currently in a laptop that can open 345p, 25 frames per second. Even the latest Intel Core 10th generation CPU cannot get the 3465p. In IDA64, we can read more details on the hardware. It has a 8th generation 4-core 8-thread Intel CPU. It's a decent one in 2020. Let's go to the battery. It has an approximately 40 watt-hour battery. This is one of the weak side of this laptop. Under approximately 70% battery, it can only be used for less than 3 hours. This suggests that for the full charge, you can only get approximately 4 hours use. It has a battery-saving LPDDR3 memory, dual channel. As for the graphics, it has an Intel integrated graphic and a discrete Nvidia MX250. For the display, it's a Qimi display from China. Let us go to the screen database for some more information about this panel. It's a really top-notch screen with a 330 brightness, 2K resolution, and 100 sRGB color gamut coverage. This tells us why the wide display feels so good into our eyes. The solid-state drive is from Samsung. It's one of the latest model. Let us do some check. It's the PM981. It's slightly older than the PM981A, but it's still a very decent model. The Wi-Fi was provided by Intel AC9560, the latest model from Intel. Unlike many other Huawei devices using Realtek network, the Intel one is much more stable and faster. Under idle condition, the temperature of the system is around 40 to 50 Celsius degree, with a CPU power consumption of 1 watt and the discharge rate battery on 10 point something watts. If you have a full charge battery around 40 watt hours, then the full battery lifetime is around 4 hours. Let us do some stability tests. First on CPU alone. Once we press start, the temperature rises very quickly, straight away to approximately 90 Celsius degree. The power consumption of the CPU is very high, around 27 watts, which is phenomenal for such a lightweight laptop. The frequency is now clocked to approximately 3 GHz. After about 40 seconds, the fan starts to run. The fan noise is very low and is not really distracting. This is a bonus for Huawei Matebook 13. Since many laptops, the fan noise is quite distracting. After quite some time, the temperature wall is reached and reset to a 70 Celsius degree. The CPU power is limited to 15 watts and the frequency becoming 2.2 to 2.3 GHz. Again, after 10 minutes of stability test, the power limit was set to 10 watts with a temperature limit about 70-60 Celsius degree. Now the frequency is only 1.8 to 1.9 GHz. It shows that the laptop is not really suitable for long-term or heavy tasks, but it's good for daily email, for writing some essays, but it's not really good for video editing or photo editing in long run. Let us now turn on hardware info 64 and then try to put both GPU and CPU under stress. Now the stability test for CPU and GPU together is started. At the start, the total power is extremely high. And the task manager shows that the Nvidia GPU cannot be used under either 64 while the integrated GPU is fully used. Let's go to hardware info 64 to see how much power can the integrated graphic provide. The iGPU is under a 5 watt envelope, with CPU also a 5 watt envelope. The frequency of the CPU is very low at 1 point something GHz, with a GPU frequency at approximately 700 MHz or something. Now, the overall Windows listening experience is very slow. This is primarily due to the very low clocked CPU and very low clocked GPU. Thereafter, the laptop should not be suitable for any type of gaming, even the most basic one, as the power envelope is extremely low. In modern days, the total CPU envelope, including the CPU and internal GPU, is generally 26-27 watts, and even some lower model, including tablets, the envelope is 15 watts to 20 watts. This is a bit too low for any laptop. Finally, let us summarize what we have seen and give some comments. It has a few advantages: the best craftsmanship, similar to Dell XPS or Lenovo Yoga. It has a gorgeous screen in the $1,000 range. This is unbeatable. It shows to other companies like Dell or HP, say the Dell Inspiron series or the HP Pavilion series, that what is the standard of high quality. While compare to some high-end models from those major manufacturers, there are a few caveats. The first one, it gets only 2 USB Type-C ports. It's very difficult to use outside without an adapter. The second part is that the long-term performance is very limited, and the small 10 watts power envelope will limit the use of the discrete graphic for gaming. It's also not good for users who need video editing, photo editing, or any other type of intensive work. Finally, the battery is only 40 watt-hours, and the discharge rate is pretty fast. Generally, you are going to use the laptop for 4 hours at very, very light use. Considering the fact that this laptop is designed for those taking out the laptop without a charger, this is a deadly problem for MacBook 13. This laptop is good for those who need good craftsmanship, who want to feel what is high build quality. But if you are concerned about the expandability, the performance, or the battery life, then you may have to consider other models from other manufacturers. If you stay in China, I would suggest you pick up the latest Lenovo Xiaoxing Pro 13. If you are staying in Singapore or United States or Europe, I would suggest you go and check out the Lenovo S740, the HP Spectrum series, or the Dell XPS series. Those will be far better than the MacBook 13.